What sequel, in your opinion, was genuinely better than the original? Batman, The Dark Knight. That opening scene is unforgettable. I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. There is a strong case for Terminator. Personally, I like the gritty mood of the first movie. It's more horror than action. Objectively speaking though, T2 is a masterpiece. Edit, holy damn, I guess I'm not the first person to have this immediately come to mind lol. I'll never forget the DVD commentary. See that helicopter flying under a freeway overpass? That's a helicopter flying under a freeway overpass. I read somewhere that they couldn't get permits to film that scene. I think it was just that nobody would sign off on something so dangerous. So when they were out filming the helicopter chase, James Cameron was just like, hey, could you pull this off? And the Choppa pilot was just like, yup, edit. I've been doing some more reading since I posted this. I was pretty impressed by this tidbit. Robert Patrick had to do a shitload of physical training, specifically how to sprint without looking out of breath. That scene where he's running after Edward Furlong's dirt bike on foot and is keeping up with it, he was legit running that fast. That's also pretty ducking impressive. First time anyone has ever asked me to do that. So this will be the first time you've done this? Nope, just first time someone asked Ride of the Valkyries plays. Reminds me a bit of a veteran pilot who was on Desert Island Discs, a BBC radio program, who was a test pilot for the Navy version of the Hurricane fighter plane in World War II. As he was out on his test flight, he thought it would be fun to do vertical loops under all the spans of the Tay Bridge, I think, in Scotland. He knew he would have been court-martialed for such a stunt, but knowing that nobody knew the Navy had hurricanes at this point, all the complaints were directed to the Air Force, and he was scot-free. Legend. Edit, it wasn't a hurricane, it was a Navy version of the Spitfire, called Seafire, at least initially. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Rescuers, Down Under It is pretty much the sole example of a Disney sequel being better than the original pre-2000s. Age of Empires 2. O2 is such a good sequel that it's currently being played by 4x the amount of people as its sequel, O3, and is only beat by O4, which just launched a couple weeks ago. And even then you're comparing 13K to 18K, and the entire hype for O4 exists exclusively because O2 sold so incredibly well 2 decades after its release that it demanded another sequel be made that tries to emulate it, instead of going to the modern era, as O4 was originally planned to do. So good it's been remastered twice. Didn't they also put out an expansion, like, 10 years later, or am I misremembering? I think they put out an expansion last year. The Empire Strikes Back. Assassin's Creed 2 took everything that the original did good, and made it better. A bigger, more diverse map, more customization, better missions, a more intricate story and, in my subjective opinion, a more interesting protagonist. The jump from I to 2 was incredible. Still my favorite Assassin's Creed game. The puzzles were so good. Portal 2 Portal is great, but the sequel is a masterpiece. Edit. I went to sleep and woke up to a billion comments and awards. Thanks everyone. It hurts that they haven't made Portal 3. I would buy a VR headset in an instant if they released that. Pretty sure they, Valve, dismissed the idea of a VR Portal because it would be way too nauseating. Several carpets were ruined at Valve HQ before they gave up on the project. Street Fighter 2. Diablo 2. Stay a while and listen. You've got quite the treasure there in that Heradric cube. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Not the new online one, I mean the awesome one with Galactic Conquest and Rise of the Republic and that sort of thing. Slipknot, Iowa. Aliens vs. Alien. Galactic Conquest was probably some of the most fun I had gaming as a kid. It is a shame that EA didn't include the Gamma mode on the new Battlefront, especially when it was what the community was asking for. I think it would work really nice if they allow people to have private servers, running campaigns like the ones in Rising Storm. The thing about building a fleet and the cards would be out for obvious reasons, but the core was be there, and I would love gay idea to fight on space and then on the ground on those planets. Addams Family Values. Joan Cusack as the villain. Nuff said. As a younger sibling, me. TF2. Team Fortress 2 and Titanfall 2 for me. Borderlands 2. Handsome Jack is one of the best written and acted characters I've ever seen, and probably ever will see. X2. Excuse me. They say you can imitate anybody. Even their voice. Even their voice. Then why not stay in disguise all the time, you know? Look like everyone else? Because we shouldn't have to. Truly great part of the movie. For the comics fans, it's nice to see Mystique being a mother, ha ha ha. Evil Dead 2. The scene where he sits down on the chair and it breaks, then the deer head turns its neck and begins laughing at him has to be my all-time favorite scene in any movie. 22 Jump Street. I was surprised at how much I liked the first. When I went to see the second, I had low expectations. It blew me away. I'm bummed they dropped the plan for a Jump Street MIB crossover. That would have been fabulous. You managed to unduck a situation you originally fucked up. I wish you can unfuck my daughter. Spaceballs 2. The Search for More Money. Spaceballs 3. The Search for Spaceballs 2. I once read a pitch for that. The VHS of Spaceballs 2 is hidden in Barf's tomb. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The special effects were unreal. Hasta la vista baby. Final Destination 2. Bionicle 2. Legends of Metru Nui. Wrath of the Lich King was better than Vanilla and BC. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Toy Story 2 was better than the first in my opinion. Terminator 2. RDR 2. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls is better than Pet Detective. The first thing that comes to mind is how terrible Super Troopers 2 was, and I can't get past that. 22 Jump Street. Okay, so I may end up getting shit on for this one, but Tron Legacy was a really underrated movie because people were all caught up with it not being like the first one. Go back and watch the first one. It's actually kind of terrible at capturing the imagination of what a digital world might look like, even for its time. Terminator 2. Toy Story 2. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. Sonic Adventure 2. Home Alone 2. I'm sure these are popular choices, but I haven't seen Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi on this list yet. Also, Rogue One is amazing, sequel to Episode 3 if that counts. Batman, The Dark Knight. Suicide Squad 2. Shrek 2. Terminator 2, The Dark Knight, Winter Soldier, possibly Godfather 2. Half-Life 2, best sequel to anything before it and after it, ever. Sherlock Holmes 2, Game of Shadows. Frozen 2. Sister Act 2. Scary Movie 2. The Dark Knight. Super obvious answer, but still correct. Terminator 2. Team Fortress 2. Narnia, Prince Caspian. Ben Barnes' homeboy will get it. Aliens. Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2 improved on every single aspect from the first game. Customization improved, the city had a new sleek look and seemed more lifelike, pedestrians felt more real, and the story was better. Also has Out of Touch by Hall & Oates in there, so that's a pretty good bonus. Better Call Saul. Technically a prequel, but the whole show is so intricate and claustrophobic that it truly is better than Breaking Bad. Aliens. Yes, I know it's effectively a different genre, but it was finely crafted at every level and was certainly a rollicking good rollercoaster ride. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2. In regards to the original trilogy, Empire Strikes Back was way better than A New Hope. I know is not very original, but Shrek 2 and Spider-Man 2, the one from the San Raimi trilogy, both Shrek 1 and Spider-Man 1 are amazing, but man, being able to just skip all the introductions really play a big role on how amazing those sequels are. The moment when Shrek transformed into human, the whole I Need a Hero sequence, Doc Octopus, the scene in the train, man, those movies are just perfect.